Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my analysis of the most popular futures markets available to trade. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And then one other special note, the markets did close earlier today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time because of Martin Luther King Day, so just keep in mind that. And then very quickly, if you are new to the futures market or maybe you're looking to go about it a different way, then I would highly encourage you to check out prop firms, and in particular, Take Profit Trader. They offer you, in a nutshell, a way to put very little of your money at risk. And then if you can prove yourself as a trader, you have a whole lot of upside potential. And also, they are open to pretty much people around the world. Now, if you do see your country on this list here, unfortunately for you, you would not be able to sign up. But if you don't see your country there and you want to get access to the USA markets and trade them through the futures market, then I would definitely consider checking out that link, and make sure you use that link because that will make sure you get the best deal possible. They're always running promotions, so use that link so you can get the best discount. Now, one special note here before I get started, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame for each of these. So what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So number one, we are looking at the NQ, and I should note that even if you trade the micros, the same patterns and such will apply to the micros. So keep that in mind here. So I'm not going to look at the MNQ, but what I talk about here for the NQ could totally be applied to the MNQ. But the main dynamic, and this will stand out to those of you that watched the previous video, but I mapped out that trend line right there as a key area of resistance, and you can see that it had been acting as resistance, and then right there was broken through it. And then this is the classic part, because when levels of resistance are broken, so let's go from red to green here, you want to see them act as support, and check that out right there. Beautiful back test off of that area. So moving forward now, it just becomes a question of, does this bounce off the trend line, get more momentum? And the next key level to watch now moving forward will be that area of resistance right up at the highs there of 778. So 778 will be the key level, and nothing fancy or complicated behind that logic other than the fact that that's just simply where the party stopped from earlier in the movement right there. So you got the pullback here, and now it's just a question of, does this bounce, like I said, continue up there and get the break up through it. In terms of levels of resistance, then first, yes, ideally, staying above that trend line right there would be the best case scenario, but you also have the purple line right there, the 50 period moving average. But from more of a broader standpoint, the level that I would say carries a lot more weight and is much more important would be down there at the 487 mark. So keep an eye on that. But like I said, as of now, price isn't anywhere close to that area. But anyway, look at it. Now, granted, again, a little bit of a different context today since the stock market was never open today. But nonetheless, it's still respecting the technicals, got the break, respecting it as support. So we'll see if this bounce can continue on moving into the next several days. Next one here, we're looking at the ES, and overall big movement today with that surge upwards, which has now created a couple of well-defined areas headed in to the future here, no pun intended. So really the first level just to watch now is at 78.25 up there, and once more, no fancy reasoning, that's just where the party stopped today, so keep a close eye on that level. And then what I'm more curious about from an overarching standpoint, let's get this zoomed out, there we go, is I want to get this trend line in play here. So that, and then that, let's change that to green. So also keep an eye on that. Like I said, that's coming from a good chunk of time right there. So we'll see if the price can maintain above there. Now, best case scenario and what would make the chart look the healthiest and strongest certainly would be if the price can stay above that purple line there, that 50 period moving average. But as the chart shows here, last time the price broke, came down there and bounced right off that trend line right there. So if the price were to break the purple line, does it for sure go down and bounce again? There are no for sure's, but would that at least be a valid and logical thought to have? Absolutely. So keep an eye on that dynamic there. So just because the purple line may fail, it doesn't mean it's game over, but that's where that trend line right there becomes a whole lot more important. And like I said, if the price does decide to continue to curl back upwards, keep an eye on that resistance up there. Next one here, we're looking at the YM, and overall, like a lot of these other ones, got that surge and then pretty much pulled back. So a lot of these charts are going to be looking very similar, but nonetheless, still worth keeping an eye on. So moving into the next session, we have a key area up there at the 952 mark. Again, nothing fancy, just basically finding where the seller showed up today. So keep an eye on that. From a support standpoint, this one has been doing a good job today of respecting that 50 period moving average. You can see right there, respected it, didn't even hit it, but right there, bounced beautifully off it. So keep an eye on that as time goes by. Again, moving average, so depending on how new you are, that just means that line's going to keep on moving and looking something like that. So keep a close eye there. And then in terms of areas of support, main level to watch, going to be right down there at the 629 mark. If you go through the history of things, this is by no means some sort of exact area, but, whoops, it's behind my ugly mug. There we go. You can see right there, this section right there, support, right there, support, and then that's where it bounced right there is support. So as I've said, no guarantees, but is it plausible to think that if the price were to come down to the 632 mark, that it could bounce off that area? That is certainly a more than rational and plausible scenario. But as of right now, like I said, with the shortened day, that adds a little bit of kind of just wait and see to things. But those would definitely be the two main levels that at least stand out to me headed into the next session. Next one here, we are looking at CL. So taking a look at oil here. And this is very, very well defined headed into the next session. So as far as key area of support moving forward, you can see this pivot point down there at the 75.90 mark. Did a very, very impressive job of respecting that whenever the price got right around that general area. So definitely 75.90 going to be one of those areas that a whole lot of people are watching. And then on the flip side of things, kind of a double, not kind of, it is a double whammy of resistance. You have this pivot point up here at 77.64, but you also have the pink line right there, the 200 period moving average, and that's right where 3 candles in a row the price got rejected time and time again. So essentially, moving in the next session, you just have this big old sideways channel pattern. Support part of the channel down there at 75.90. Resistance part of the channel up there around 77.64. So it just becomes a question of who's ultimately going to win this sideways battle. Do the bears win with a push to the downside? Do the bulls win with a push to the upside? We shall see what happens. Next one here, looking at GC. So taking a look at the gold market and overall, this has fallen and it's hanging in there around a couple of key levels, though, that being this pivot point right there at the 726 mark. And then that pink line right there, 200 period moving average. You can see a couple periods right there. Did a good job of bouncing the price. And then the price started to break down through it, but it could never gain any sort of downwards momentum. And now the price is essentially right at that level. So that's going to be the main question mark moving forward, is what exactly is going to happen with this general area here? Are the bulls going to show up enough to create some sort of, separation back to the upside, or the bears going to show back up and just continue to press downwards? So that'll be, like I said, the most interesting dynamic right now on gold is just the way that it's hovering around this general area of support. And let me zoom out here, and you can see that this is an area where it's, kind of hung out before. So is it going to continue to hang out? Is it going to get a bounce? That all remains to be seen. But I think most futures traders have noticed this dynamic, and I make that comment because when a lot of people are watching the same areas, wondering the same things, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So that doesn't guarantee anything, but makes it rational to think that you could get a very nice bounce, or on the flip side, flush to the downside. So as always, that is why risk management matters. But definitely quite a bit of an interesting scenario right now with this price congestion currently kind of just occurring right around this general area. So that wraps up the analysis. And again, if you want to get involved in futures or maybe try something different in your futures journey and go down the prop firm route, then I would definitely recommend Take Profit Trader. It's who I use, so I'm putting my money where my mouth is. This is not me talking in theory. Like I said, I use them and I'm very happy with them. So make sure you go to claytrader.com/take profit, link down below, and that'll ensure that you get the best deal possible. And then finally, if you're looking for a group of futures traders to trade with, or just traders in general, then I'd highly recommend checking out my private community, claytrader.com/team. Yes, there's a price with it, but it's amazing what a small little price can do to filter out the riffraff, to filter out the trolls, the unserious people. And it's $99, not per month or anything like that. It's $99 per 3 months. So when you do the math on that, it breaks down to $8.25 per week. And while I can't make guarantees, I can say with a high degree of confidence that I'm very confident you'll get at least $8.25 worth of value every week. So if you are looking for, like I said, a group to trade with, then definitely check out claytrader.com/team. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy these futures videos, if you want me to continue to make them, have suggestions on other markets you want me to take a look at, make sure you let me know down in the comment section. But if you do enjoy, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Take care.